Hey everybody, welcome to Gaming with Vindicator, where we're building the city of Mikelsfjord. And in the last episode, we built a central park for our downtown, which is really fleshing out. This has been, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes now. And in the last episode, we worked on this area here, which, as you can see, contains a fairly sizable downtown park. I think using all the trees that are already included in this asset here, we were able to make it look like one cohesive park, and we've put in all types of different amenities and recreational things, and we've kind of tried to circle the park, ring the park with tall buildings, which is kind of what they've done in Manhattan. And I think it's turning out. It's not quite there yet. We still need to add a little bit of residential and commercial on this side of the highway. This little pocket is feeling a little bit empty, and that's part of what we're going to be working on today. And the reason we're doing that is because this area here, this is Auxjack farmland, it's in a little bit of trouble. If we check out our traffic overlay, you can see that it is pretty bad. And if we bounce out of the cinematic view here, we can see what is our traffic percentage. We're at 77. So it's not terrible, but we can be doing better. I want to be getting closer to 80. We're now at 76. But you can see it's backing up right onto the highway here. This junction, this roundabout is pretty backed up, and we're having a heck of a lot of backlogs with this station. So what we will do in this episode, and look, you can see what the result is. A lot of these pastures, the slaughterhouses, the flour mills, they're screaming for not enough raw materials. Why is that? We have plenty of these barns all around the industry area, and they're full. So my theory is, when we look at the stats for this area, we are short about 900 workers, almost more than that. So what we want to do with this is create more bodies to fill the jobs, right? We just don't have enough people in this city, and it could be that some of them are overqualified. We have a lot of university students. We've prioritized that. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna make this whole area in here a kind of blue collar working class neighborhood with people who can go to these jobs over here and sort of hopefully take care of some of this stuff. We're gonna rejig the transportation network as well. This one station is serving a lot of our region. If we click in here and look on this side, you can see that this one cargo train station is serving most of the downtown for its cargo needs, and some of Fjellison as well, and of course a lot of Torrance Square. So we need to change that. We do have this second station up here. It is not functioning as well as we'd like it to. We're gonna fix all of this. So there's a ton of work to do. This is a very ambitious episode. I believe this has to become a 2-parter. But basically we're going to put in this section here, south of the train station, we're going to put a beautiful stadium and a leisure area to entertain people. This is going to become one of our busiest transportation hubs in the city. On the south side here, we're going to do a little bit of height to sort of taper off what we have in the downtown. We're probably going to use a high-rise band though, so we kind of slowly taper down. And then on the opposite side of the train tracks, we're going to take advantage of the Brooklyn and Queens. We're going to maybe fix this custom this interchange here. I think it's going to get pretty busy, so we might need to upgrade some of it. We're going to do a lot of work, and I've actually done some of that work off camera. I'll just show you a few of the things I've done. So one of the things is to take this east-west arterial and put the tram lines in the center in its own lane. I found that this just gives everything a lot more turning lanes. And when you look here, we've still got some backups coming off the highway, but I noticed this does clear from time to time, so I'm not worried. I think it just needs to simulate for a little bit longer. This will clean up once we sort of do what we need to do in this episode. I've added pedestrian crossings along the outside of the park so that people can get from their houses into the park. All I've done is upgraded some of the roads to be different roads with a median, for example, and that's giving us a little bit of a way to cross the road instead of having to go all the way to the end. Unfortunately, in vanilla, we don't have the ability to put in crosswalks. And I've added another bridge here in the middle, so it's, this long bridge is not the only taking you from one place to the next. We're actually letting people get to this side of the neighborhood. I'm forgetting one thing though. I wanted to put one more crossing east-west on this side. So far, this road is handling it admirably, but I do want to add connectivity. There's no reason we shouldn't. So I'm going to quickly just get into that and rejig this area a little bit. Here we go. Great, so I think that improves things. We've given a little bit more connectivity between the left and right sides of the downtown here. I believe I've broken some of my zoning, so we're gonna fix that and remove the zoning on this road. And rather than have this bike lane just dead end here or go into the park, let's actually give them bike lanes on the side of the road here too. Great, now we're gonna do something completely different and we're gonna bounce over to our airport area, which, you know, this was built pre the airport's expansion pack, so it's still the old version. I haven't been inspired to update it, but this definitely could use a refresh, and it's not gonna happen today, but we do need to add some capacity here. Our fire helicopter depot, you know, I was gonna say it's always in use, it's making me a liar, but usually we've got 3 helicopters in use. We have a shortage of helicopters to put out fires, so I'm gonna pause, we're gonna delete this, and we're gonna add one of the, I think it's new. It's a new helicopter depot which has 10 helicopters instead of the 3. This is the higher capacity fire helicopter depot, and it fits nicely in here. And what we can actually do as well, while we're at it, let's put in the police helicopter, the large one as well. And let's see how many people use this. And it doesn't want to let me do that because I have a taxi stand here. We're just gonna delete it. Great, and I thought while we're at this, let's add the medical helicopter depot as well. We didn't have that at all, and already they're sending out helicopters, so let's just improve the overall services of our city. We've got already police helicopters taking off. Nothing as far as the fire, but definitely we've blanketed this area a little bit more, and we've given ourselves more capacity. Okay, and now we're actually going to bounce over to a completely different part of the map, over here to Kiev, and specifically New Kiev. And I want to make this station one that allows intercity trains. Reason being is the only other station that does that is right downtown over there. It's our main station, but this is a whole different side of the map. But in order to get the trains to actually come in here, we need to connect that line. So we're running our lines in Mikelsfjord separately. We've got separate lines for the international train lines, and we've got separate lines for our internal lines. So here they are. This is the internal and the external on the left side. We're just going to connect them up in a way that should only allow the trains from outside connections to connect to this particular station, which is the one we want. And well, we'll just keep an eye on it to make sure that we're actually getting exactly what we want. And I might have to play with this a little bit because these lines are a little tight. Great, so I'm just checking that the rail lines actually show up here, and they do. Sometimes you will be able to connect it, but the rail lines don't show up, and that means it's not going to function. So we definitely want to make sure that that's working. So now trains from either this left side or the right side externally can come in, and in fact yeah, that's perfect. But also we want to create a little bit of a switchback here so that trains can come out and turn down this side. And that might require just a little bit of finessing, but we will get that done too. Now, that's not the prettiest connection I've ever made. It is really steep and it's a little wonky, but it's going to work as far as I understand, because I can see the tracks are connected. So we're gonna leave it and let it go. I wanna make sure that, yeah, I'm thinking probably the international trains will stop somewhere on this side. Let's just double check and see if they're already showing up. Not yet, but I might just move our regional train line off from where it is, because that's definitely not where we want it. So we'll put it on the other side. All right, and let's take a look. We've got 300 passengers. At the end of the episode, if I remember, we'll come back and we'll look at how that's doing. All right, let's move on. Great, so we're back here in Auxjack farmland. And again, I was saying earlier that we have a shortage of, well, about 900 workers right now. that's a problem. That's been a problem for a while. And I think if we can fill up the worker count here, we're gonna solve a bunch of problems. Namely, these shortages of raw materials should take care of itself. At the same time, we can fix the traffic flow. And you know what? Let me just take a quick screenshot of that, and we're gonna see how much we improve it by the end of this episode. And what else are we gonna do? We're gonna hopefully make more money when some of these industrial buildings are producing more. So let's actually also take a look at the education system. I think we might have a little bit of an overkill on the number of university educated people that we have. So our education levels are pretty high, 2.23. So you know, a good amount of people have a university education, and I'm not sure that we need that many. Let's take a look over here at our population. Here's what we're looking for. So 11% of our population is uneducated. That's not great. You would think that you want to have mostly educated citizens, but in this game, for the purposes of City Skylines, we actually want a much more balanced mix of people. So we have far too many university graduates here, 60% of our city, which you know it comes from decisions that I made a long time ago before I knew about this, and that means that a lot of these businesses, they just don't have people that can fill the jobs. And so if we look at the workers here, for example, 12 uneducated workers not being filled. We have 23 out of 3 highly educated worker. That's a problem, because these people who have a university education don't want to be working in a large crops greenhouse, at least according to the game. So what are we going to do to fix that? Here's a quick fix. We're going to go through some of our other our districts and remove the education boost. We're not going to put in the schools out policy. We might do that with our new districts, but for now, I just want to come in here and make sure that we're not over-educating our citizens by sending them to school with the education boost. Okay, so we've turned that off in Torrance Square, Fjallison, and Volina, and I believe those are the only places that we have it. Alkelberg, I don't believe so. No, we're clear. I think all of these are fine, so I didn't mess with those when I built them. And what about our waterfront here? Did we put that on here? We did. We don't need that. Even though there's a lot of office space in that area, I just don't think it's necessary. And I'm just gonna double check. Okay, so now when we check our stats at the end of this episode, we should see the education numbers falling. And you know what? Let me get a screenshot of that before I continue. Great. So it's very unusual that we'd want to, you know, stop educating our citizens so much, but we do have a little imbalance. We don't have people that can work in these sort of manual labor type jobs. Okay, let's fix some of this traffic. It is absolutely the most outrageous part of our city. We see that we have this backlog here, and more than that, we have a backlog of trains. It's actually not that bad right now, but you can see there are trains backing up. If we look underground all the way into this tunnel, all the way into this tunnel, it's really bad. So we're gonna pause it and we're gonna rethink this whole area. Let's go. So one of the wonderful things about the airport's DLC is that we got this incredibly useful airport cargo station. Not only does it look beautiful, but it has double the tracks of the normal station, which is to say 4, and they're actually quite functional. I've noticed that when you put this in here versus the other one, the original OG vanilla, more trucks can go in, because when you look at this, there are actually 2 lanes here and different ways for trucks to get in, and the trains are loaded twice as fast. So there just are not as many backups, and there's things moving a lot faster. So that is a wonderful thing. We're going to continue to flesh out this area. Amazing, so we can run that again, and I'm gonna go through here and I'm going to take this small 4-lane industry road. we're basically going to give every one of these small little roads double the capacity in order to just give us an extra lane so that we're not so crowded in here. All right, I think we got most of that, and there's one other thing I want to do. This bridge doesn't make a ton of sense. The railway dips down here and then dips back up. Rather than do that, we're going to reverse that so that we can actually connect some of these other junctions to the arterial, which makes a lot more sense. I've also given us the 6-lane industrial roads because, hey, we have them now, we didn't before. And let's now finish this off by making a few other connections to this arterial over here. It definitely doesn't make sense to have this like this. So, and we're gonna do a little bit of a roundabout over here. And I think one over here as well, perhaps. And yeah, we're just gonna go roundabout crazy in this episode and make sure that we don't have any problems with traffic in the future. All right, that's a very good thing. And now let's get in these roundabouts before we get too far with anything else. I think it looks pretty great if I say so myself. And there's one little more connection we want to make. I think that's one more industrial road into here, if that works. That should work. Kind of want to get it in the middle. So I'm going to try to be cute with it. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Well, we'll see how it performs. We're giving ourselves just a little bit more flow here and a little bit more connectivity off of this junction here. Dumping everything into the roundabout, I think should help move the traffic along a little bit. I think we can already see that traffic has improved significantly just by the few little things that we did. Whether that continues remains to be seen, or whether the traffic just builds up again. But there's one more little junction I want to make here, and that is a slip lane to get traffic out of the roundabout and just directly back into the farmland. So let's do that. All right, that should definitely help. Let's keep going. So there we have our 3 new roundabouts. This is going to give us a lot of new capacity in this region, which is exactly what we need. And let me just take a quick second to adjust the junctions, make sure we don't have any funny lights anywhere. That is perfect. And I think while we're at this, let's give ourselves a nice big water tower, because we are continuously teetering on the brink over here for both treatment and oh, and now that I look at it, I have gone and done something silly with these water pipes. These are going to need to be adjusted entirely because it doesn't make any sense. So we'll put the water tower in and we'll fix up everything else while we're at it. And you know what? We're going to need to do some bit of height on this as well. So you can see what we had before was basically a legacy from a time when no cares were given about putting pipes where they belong. But we know now from City Planner Plays that pipes go under the road where they belong. So we're definitely doing that and asking forgiveness now that we know better. And let's make sure that things are still getting water. I think this one is not, so we'll just send a pipe up here. And we'll check for any other little misses over like this one over here. So I think what's happening, the reason this is dipping down is because it's trying to connect to the pipes which are at a lower level. So what I will do is simply move this over, we'll delete these pipes under the ground here. Then we'll place the tower exactly where we want it, which is to say exactly in the middle of this roundabout here. I didn't quite nail that, did I? And I think that is close enough. So we're going to, you know, we're trying to be a little bit symmetrical, but we're trying not to also get too crazy with it. So just connect these pipes up and carry on with our day here. And you know, while we're at this, let's decorate this up a little bit and see if we can't make it look a little prettier. I'm gonna turn on the terrain heights just so I can get this lowest terrain. Maybe we'll go with the one higher, and we'll just use that line to use these beautiful bushes here. How did that turn out? I think it looks pretty darn decent for being in an industrial area, and let's just keep going with this. And hey, yeah, you might say, hey, why does this guy take so much time to detail this? But I think it looks a lot better than it could. So we're already seeing a little bit more flow through here, but we do have some problems with the highway still, and perhaps we need to think about a little bit of lane mathematics. We need sort of a turning lane here. Could extend this one out, but I think it might be better just to actually give this a 4-lane. And you can see that this is a little too tight to the railway there, so what we're gonna do is actually back this off and just try to rebuild it a little bit. All right, so that'll give us an extra lane on this side, but I'm still concerned that we're backing up a little bit. And so what can we do to fix this? Let's think about it for a second. And I'm gonna look at where people are actually going. So we're gonna use our traffic routes view to see that all of the passenger vehicles are doing a left into downtown, and most of the industrial traffic is taking a right into this roundabout and onto the slip lanes. So how do we make that a little bit smoother? I'm honestly not sure at this stage. Let's keep playing with it. So I've used a bit of highway lane mathematics here, which I learned from BIFA, to give 2 of these lanes are now turning only lanes, and that's gonna help a lot more traffic get onto this side. And they're still backing up, admittedly. I don't think it's a problem now that we have, you know, the light is gonna change and it's gonna let everyone go. I might actually just give them a little bit more runway here. So we're gonna go with the 1-way 4-lane and come back as far as here. This should give them just a little bit more places to park while they're waiting for that turning. What else? This slip lane is pretty red here, so I think it might make sense to give it an extra little turning lane and possibly do the same on this side, but let's see how it works out. All right, so that should put a little bit less pressure on this junction here, and we might also do the same at this point here. I know we're getting a little bit spaghetti here, but this is an attempt to take a lot of the pressure off this roadway here. And I think that gives us just a little bit more options for people coming into this area than we had before. You know, in a second, I think we're gonna see these roads starting to turn a different color. Yeah, this one's already being used a little bit more, and we're giving ourselves just more options, hopefully taking a little bit of pressure. You see people using this now. I think we're gonna give it a minute and watch it clear. I don't know what else we can do at this stage except wait. Yeah, we've improved things, I think, significantly. We'll continue to keep an eye on this, but it's, look at the trains. I mean, there's really no backups anymore. You can see that both sides of the rail is being used. You know, the AI is not the smartest, in my opinion, on this, because they don't take the open bay always. They do things like this, they wait. This guy could be sitting on this right side track, but you know, that is what it is. It just doesn't work sometimes. One other thing we're gonna do to sort of help this not enough raw materials situation is play with our warehouses. So this one, I don't love that there's an animal products warehouse up here. We do need those for the slaughterhouse, but I think we might just consolidate and put another warehouse, bigger one on this side. And it actually fits in there perfectly. So we'll make this animal products, we'll keep it unbalanced. We now have 30 freight trucks moving stuff around the region. This is not a terribly busy road so far, so that was a perfect place to put it. And we're actually gonna shift this one and change this to flour so that we don't get this not enough, well, sometimes we're getting the not enough buyers problem. This one's flour as well. So we're collecting flour at 2 different points. We're collecting animal products up here. And let's check our barns. Full. Mostly full. Yeah, these are all full. So we're gonna go a little bit crazy and we're gonna add a few more of the largest grain silos. I think that's the 600,000 capacity. And while I'm doing this, we're going to turn on our traffic view. We're going to attempt to place this on roads that are not extremely busy. So here seems like a perfect spot. We might throw actually 2 over there. And we're looking for another quieter spot. You know, perhaps we'll double up our capacity over here. You know, certainly here wouldn't hurt. Now, what that will do in theory is give us, you know, about more than 100 trucks. I think we put in 4 of those. So yeah, about 100 trucks to drive around the region and start picking up crops and delivering them. So there should be no more of this nonsense that there's not enough raw materials because, you know, there's no shortage of crops. It's simply we have a shortage of workers. Have we fixed this at all? I think we went up about 100. So that's a good thing. But I don't think this will be fixed actually until we get to the point where we're building more residential over here. All right, another thing I want to do is give ourselves a little bit more public transit access. So I know that there's a station that's a beautiful cross station. We're going to shift this over, pause, and we're going to delete this station. I hate to do that without you know, moving the line, but it has to be done. And we're going to back this off just a little bit. We're gonna come in here and get one of our newer cross stations, and I think, yeah, we should find that under the regular metro stations. And it's this one here. We've used this downtown already at a perfect spot. I think definitely, it doesn't really matter which side it loads onto. They're both busy roads. Not ideal, but hey, we do wanna have some public transit access here by the subway. Is it realistic that in farmland you'd have a subway? No. Unfortunately, that was done, you know, before I was a smarter player. But again, it is what it is. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to just play the game and make sure that everyone's happy and able to get where they're going. So we're going to come underground here, and we're going to fix up some of these lines and reconnect, connect this end up to the farmland here. Now I should be able to move these stops, and so hopefully that nothing is broken. That's awesome. And you know, I was taught and by reading on Google that if you have a subway station about 50 units away from each other, that's usually fine. So what I'm gonna do is take my curved road tool, I'm gonna plop it on this center of the subway station, and I'm gonna see, also we need road length, turn this off, and we're gonna see 50 units. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So if we were to put a station right here, I don't think it would be the worst idea in the world. For whatever reason, oh, there it is, okay. So it's gonna fit right in there nicely. and we should be able to make a nice smooth connection. We do have to go underground from here. We'll pull that back and rebuild it under. And we will drag this stop all the way up. Oh, we forgot to add one section of track. Great, so now we have a subway system that's getting a little more detailed. Again, probably wouldn't go underground in the future, but it's already there, so we're not going to dig up tunnels if we don't have to. You know, we're going to have hopefully a lot more workers coming in via this station. There's a little bit more work we need to do. This junction here is getting crazy, so we're going to turn that light off and just let them flow. You know, there's just too many lights here. I think we'll keep that one. This one's fine. We'll think about this one. We've, I think, cleared this just a slight bit, but it's still pretty bad. All these people want to. This silly person here is trying to, you know, go across 3 lanes. You know, the lane math, the AI is not great, but we're seeing improvements. Definitely, we're seeing improvements. And while we're fixing things and improving things, I want to put in maybe one more road maintenance depot. I think probably somewhere in the centrally here. You can see we don't have good coverage on this side, but want to make sure we're using all of our amenities. Looking at the rest of the city, it's so fine over here. I don't think we need to worry about it. But I do want to check. Oh, okay, so this side is not great. You know, probably one near the airport over here would be fine. We'll stick that just at this corner here. And let's check the condition of our roads. So boosted is green. I'm seeing a lot of red, which tells me that probably we just don't have nearly enough capacity. So I'm thinking we'll probably put in just a couple more and try to disperse them around a little bit. Perhaps one over here in the industrial zone. I don't want to put it on a major artery, but perhaps, you know, somewhere like here, giving us access to the highway. Again, conditions are pretty terrible everywhere, so you know, it wouldn't hurt for us to fire in a bunch of these all over the place. But let's think about where it makes sense. All right, I think that was 3, and I think we'll leave it there. But I do want to add a little bit more park maintenance. So we'll go into here, grab our maintenance building. Again, we can see gray in this whole area. So let's take advantage of this being an industrial area to put in a little bit more in the way of maintenance buildings. And that's going to kill a power line, but I don't think it's a crucial one. No, it's not. So we'll leave that there. Let's actually take a look at how they are performing. I just don't think we have barely enough. So if we look at our parks that are pink, those are boosted. The ones that are green, not so good, which, you know, is kind of a weird choice in colors, but I just don't think we're doing a good enough job with our park maintenance. So let's see if we can put in a few more of those around town as well. And while we're at it, let's jump into our policies and check if we're actually doing the park maintenance boost globally. I don't think we are, and that would be very helpful because what it does, it increases the park maintenance vehicles shift by length by 50%, and it only costs 80 cells per park maintenance service building. So that's a steal in my mind. We're turning that on, and let's check quickly if we've actually increased the budget, or we will increase the budget for our parks. We're at 31,821. Okay, that's $20 extra. I think, you know, unless it increases wildly over the next few cycles. 71, yeah. You know what? To have our parks boosted like that, totally worth it. So we're doing yeoman's work this episode. We certainly are adding a lot. We haven't even got to the meat of the build, which is our stadium, but we will, and we're going to do that right now. So we're going to put in a whole bunch of transportation options here and a stadium on this side. I'm excited. Let's just get to it. So I don't think we're going to use any of these train stations, but I do think we're going to look at some of the hubs, and we want something that has train as well as tram, because I want this to be a tram station, and I think this is our winner right here. And let's just put this on the side for a second and take a look. So I really love this. I can't remember which DLC or expansion pack this came from, but it's got the elevated train line, it's got the ground level tram, and it's got bus bays, which is awesome. So this is going to be a very important station. It's going to be sort of a cross station for a lot of other traffic. So I've just dropped in a ground level track here, so I know exactly what I'm doing as far as distance, and I'm just trying to measure this out a little bit so I can get the proper the distance here. Alright, that looks great. I've got it right where I want it. We've got a nice smooth curve. We've added a very important junction between Fjallison and Torrance Square. And I think this is going to be handling a lot of traffic. We're not allowing intercity trains, but we definitely are allowing trams. So let's continue by building out this road network. Cool, and so here we have Arrow Park, which is the biggest baseball stadium I think that we have, which is absolutely stunning. And I just love that we're adding a giant stadium to the downtown. This is gonna look really great. The only other stadium we have really downtown is this football stadium. It's a lot smaller, as you can see. And then we have, of course, the swimming aquatic center over here in Torrance Square. But this is our third stadium in the area, and one of the coolest that I've seen. So we're gonna flesh this area out a little bit. It's gonna become one of the centerpieces of our midtown area, and let me build this out here. So here we have the makings of a new stadium district, and this is one of the most beautiful assets that I've seen in the game. It comes complete with a fountain, which is massive, and all of these really cool stairs. We've added a few parks in front of here. It's got the built-in pathways. We fleshed it out with a little bit of, what are these called? These are the food trucks plazas. I didn't actually want two of those together, so we're gonna kind of level this out with one more of those flower plazas, and I think that looks really great. We've given the area a lot of parking. I'm hoping that this is enough. It should be. And let's continue to build this out a little bit. Now, the map maker did something wonderful, which is, you know, make these look like rows of planted crops, but unfortunately it's just in the wrong place for us. I know that underneath here we have a forestry area. Obviously we're not building any forestry today or anytime soon, so we're not going to do that, but that's fine. We're going to continue with whatever we can come up with, which I think right now is a massive subway terminal. So here's the stadium station, which I think, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer. We've got to use it in front of the stadium. I've tried to sort of center it, but we're going to have to play a little bit on the whims of the road network. And actually, I don't like this variant. Let's play with this. We've got this red version. Yeah, not bad. I can see how that could be appealing. I love the fact that it actually says Stadium Station inside there. It comes with actually plenty of tracks. There's 4, I believe. We probably won't need them for now, but let's see, what is the other variant? Yeah, this one just looks a little bit more appropriate for this area. Got the beautiful sign there too. Let's run with it, but I just want to move it off from the road one space, and we can get some pathways in there, and I want to do some underground tunnels. So what we'll do is that little trick with moving the road one tile off. So I'm selecting grid, and I'm coming to this grid tile here, which means we're going to have one extra tile just off from the 4-unit road, and we can put this right back here. I want to make it as flush left as possible. so that we give ourselves some space on the other side as well. Now I can be above ground, delete this road, and put back in another road. And yeah, perfect. And now that station is still connected. As you know, in the game, it gives you 2 tiles away from a road that you're still connected to a building. But here's what we can do now. We'll come in here with some of our pavement paths, and we'll give this an underground segment here. Come down just 1 unit. I think we'll go 5 units long. And I want to do this from each side, but I want to put in one other road here and make sure that I'm being as tight as possible. And I want to actually know also how I can give myself one other tile on the other side for a path. So I'll show you what I mean. I think I'm liking these red pathways. Grid is going to give us a bit of a challenge here, so we'll turn all of that off and just go as long as we can here. And yeah, I think that looks pretty fantastic. Can we run the simulation? I don't see why not. Let's not let time stand still. Let's actually do this. So we've got that running. We're not powered up yet, I don't believe, but we'll get to that. What can we do in the meantime? I thought it would be neat to make that a one-way and give us a little bit of a place to drop off passengers. I don't know if that's going to be used or not. I do want to clean up some of this brush here, just because it doesn't suit the area. And when you're clearing brush like that, you do want to be a little bit careful not to delete something like a pathway or a road. But one trick I found is that when you hit delete or bulldoze, you can actually click on one tree, and then now when you move your mouse, which you're holding down the mouse button, you're only deleting the foliage that you don't want. So here we go, we'll clean up a little bit. And while we're in here, let's clean up some of these pathways, put in some of the underground tunnels, and maybe do just a little light detailing for now. This path, I'm not sure if it's connected. We're gonna watch that to see if people can actually walk to the road here and get into the park. It would be nice to have that as an option as well. But we'll keep an eye on that. And while we are over here, I think what would be nice to do is a little bit more of an underground pathway here. So I'll get my grid to be nice and tight here. We can go as far as the tram line. And I believe those tram lines, the tram only roads, they let people walk on them as well, don't they? So we should be able to see people using that, taking advantage of it. Now we've got a bit of a subway line conflict here. So what I actually want to do is put in another subway line on the east-west line. And I want to use something fun like, oh, and you see here's the results of our disabling that policy for education boost. This is exactly what we want. We want fewer highly educated students. And when we take a look at how many, what percentage of our population is actually educated, it should be less. See, we've only dropped 1% so far, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. This does take some time because of, you know, generations and things like that. People have to either move out or pass on. But we're going definitely in the right direction, so we'll see the results of that soon. All right, back to this. I want to pause and I want to go underground, and I just want to wholesale delete this line here. Then I want to put in one of these new ROJ, or the Railroads of Japan station. And I think it's best if we keep this as close as possible to the center of this transit hub. You can see we've got a north-south line for this stadium station, east-west train line that's regional, and we've got the tram line in the back here. We'll put some buses as well in here, and then this east-west line. So this is going to be a major transport hub, and that's what this game is all about, right? I absolutely love doing this. So we'll connect up these things, and we'll continue to build this out. And the other thing I know is that this north-south line is going to continue underneath this other line. So I'm hoping that we've got just enough length to go. I think it's probably 9 meters underground. We're going to just hope we can get under. Yeah, it looks fine. I think maybe that other line is kind of lower anyway. So we can kind of, you know, give ourselves a reminder that that line's coming, and hey, it might be a little bit steep, but it's fine. It's going into a station. Are we going to connect this up yet? I think we might as well, but before we do that, I know I'm bouncing around here, but this is on purpose mostly. We want to put another station here because I know that from modeling this, I do want a tram line up this road and into this new community. That tram line becomes the most successful line that we've ever had. So to relieve some of that pressure, I wanted to give ourselves another subway line in this area in Central Park. So that's going to require just a bit of a rejigging of the road network to make this work, and a rejigging of the park. So I'll move some things and get that in. All right, that looks pretty good, and we've also added another station here. I suspect this is going to carry some traffic, but we'll have to see. And what are we going to do with that? You know, okay, I have a sense that this yellow line is going to be replaced or moved. So I just don't see us needing a way to get from this central station up to Fjallesen. There already is a line, and can I enable that? Let's see it. The white line, well, it's going over to Rhineskard, that's fine. How can we get up to Fjallesen from there? There will be a connection up to here, and then they can take the subway over. Or they can go to Rhineskard and take the subway backwards. So I don't see an issue really. There's a direct line on the train from the central train station up to Fjallesen. So I'm going to repurpose this yellow line, and we'll rebuild this just a little bit here. Awesome, so now we've got both of these subway stations connected. I'm gonna see if I can just get some power over here to stop it from complaining. And I think we're just, the path of least resistance would be go over the train track here. And that should give this area power. I'm not sure about water. Yeah, we're just gonna need a little bit more. All right, I think that should give us power and water to most of this area. Let's finish up what we're doing before over here. It's all a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? You have to do one thing before you do the next, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So we got really lucky that we were able to connect this and all the subway lines cooperated. That's a heck of a steep slope, but you know, we could say that's an escalator or something like that. And it's giving us access now from both the subway station and this subway station and the what do you call this, a bus train tram hub over here, and getting people right to the stadium over here. They can drive, they can walk. Look, we've already got cars filling up. It's not even maybe 10% full, which is great. I think we're gonna have more than enough parking capacity here. And I've tucked away a little bit of a recycling center and a cryopreservatory here, just so we're not having any garbage pickup or death care issues. And we've got some plazas in. I think we could do a little custom plaza in this area actually, or rather than a plaza, just maybe a little walking area. We'll see how that goes. So I've given ourselves a little bit of food truck circle here. You can come and try your ice cream and then get some hot dogs and whatnot. And then threw in some beer garden tables to give people places to sit. I think we might throw in just a few more tables and call it a day, but I think there would be definitely some use for this land, and we're filling it in. Okay, so this could be a little place for people to come and get their food for a pre-game day, and I think, you know, I might actually do something a little bit wild, which is adjust this road. So I'm going to pause it, and I do want to come at least far enough that I'm giving this plaza road access. So we'll turn angle and road length on. We'll come, let's say about there, just so that we connect that path as well. And then, you know, we're gonna delete some of this, and we're gonna do something wild. And we're gonna connect to the next town, the next little community over there. And I'll give us as much length as we can. So I think that's 12. We're gonna get the full 12. That's awesome. Nice and smooth connection there. Obviously we're a little too tight with some of the tables here. This pergola's kind of got to go. This one maybe. So that is going to connect right up to Fjallison over here. And I think in order to make this work, we're going to have to punch a hole with this collector down south here. We'll have to move this little crematorium, of course. That's easy enough. We'll put it, let's say, wherever that's not going to demolish too many buildings. But I think, you know, because we want to get trams in this area, and the tram depot is way up here, and the trams come south here to get into downtown. There's no other way for them to get into this new area unless they go all the way around. We don't want that. So we're going to punch a hole. And I think it's going to just be a little bit of extra connectivity for people as well. And we're going to do this with a tram road. We don't need a big one, and I'm not even sure we need trees here. What did I use over here? Yeah, nothing with trees anyway, so we might change that later. But for now, we're going to go, yeah, we're going to have to rejig this area just a little bit. Wow, so I didn't think we'd be able to get that close to this road here, but we did, which is awesome because it's gonna let me leave most of this area intact. I can actually put the roads back where they were and give ourselves extra connections around the city. And we got a bit of a conflict with this other highway road underneath, but if we're really careful, we should be able to connect this without really any trouble whatsoever. Oh, I see what's happening here. Yeah, so we have an old subway line that I forgot to delete. We'll take it out and we'll solve this problem here. Just want to check. Yeah, we're not using this line anymore, so it can go. While we're at this, I think let's just put in our tram roads all the way along. Okay, great. So now what we've done is we've connected our tram line right to the downtown. We've got to fix some of these trees. We will definitely do that. And it's coming all the way up north here and into the station. So yeah, I really like that. That's looking good. And what can we do now? We can do a little bit of line work with the trams. So let's pull a line up here. So I think the easiest thing to do would be we're going to repurpose or redirect this Arc Park line. It doesn't need to come around like this. I'm not sure where's the station I'm missing. Ah, there it is. I think if we just pull it all the way up to this station here, that'd be really great. And I want to put it on the close side so that we're making mostly right turns. We're only going to make one left turn here. I think that'll work the best. We are going to stop in front of the stadium and the subway here. We'll put one, will we? No, I think we're fine here. There's nothing really of interest over here. But we will put a station, or stop rather, on this side next to the other subway that we created. And we'll make sure that there's parallel stations or stops on each side of the road here. I don't know why that bounced up there. That's odd. Something funky happened here. So when I added that station, that was weird. We're gonna just get rid of these, and we'll add them again. And I'm just making sure these are not too close. I think it would make a lot of sense to, you know, connect to this subway station, and then we're going every couple blocks or so. Now let's see how that station performs. I do know from testing this out, it's going to be very busy. So I will make those trains bigger. Right now we have the 65 capacity. Here we're going to go up to something like 132. Give it a chance, and let's see how that performs. For now, I think it's going to do quite well. I mean, there's nothing really around this area, but it's worth keeping an eye on that. So let's keep going here. And hey, would you look at that? We've just reached 100,000 population. That's a real milestone in our progression in city building. Congratulations, Mikelsfjord. Yeah, it looks fairly decent. It's unfortunate that because there's this, protrusion here, you can't get your detailing too close. But we're gonna make sure that it looks just fine. And I'm wondering if I do that. Yeah, I think we're blocking too much of the view of that beautiful baseball guy in the waterfall. So we're just gonna leave it, and we'll tighten up some of the zoning on these roads. It would be a good idea to get a park in here. This is going to be quite the busy area, and I want to turn this into a little bit of a leisure area with that specialty on it. So, having a park would be a really great place for people to go and bring their beers. Let's do a little bit of road work to make that happen. So we've got our park with trees in there, and I moved it I think that's 2 units off the main area there. Did I do that right? I don't think I gave myself enough room actually. Well, it took a lot of weird rejigging, but I think we got it in the spot that we wanted to. So we'll keep it going. So I was just noticing that this industry district was a little bit extended over here. We don't need that anymore, so we're going to minimize it. So I put this road in here just to give me a square 90 degrees, so I can put this road parallel to this road. It's just a symmetry thing, but I think now we've got that road where I want it, and we might actually continue that across under the train while we're at it. Now I want to see how is this line doing while I see the train rolling by. Wow, okay, so we have trains with 400 capacity filled out. What is this station? Okay, so this is the station that earlier in the episode we converted to a intercity train station. We went from about 300 passengers a week to 674. That is obviously an improvement. And I wonder if we look at our city statistics, how's our tourism doing? Tourism has shot up to its highest level ever, 4671. I think that's, what is that, per week? Who knows? But it's good, it's coming. And so in order to keep up with demand, we're gonna go to our east-west line, 982 passengers a week. I love that. And this is the line that takes people right across from one end of the map to the other. But you know what, this commuter train, not big enough. We're going to ROJ, and we're gonna see how that performs. We're adding approximately, what's the capacity? 680. So we're adding 280 per train. I think that's gonna be enough to clear this. It's like adding another whole, 9 times 280, whatever that is. That's a lot. Wow, look at the people waiting inside here. Let's take a look at this. Oh my gosh, it's like, I don't know what it's like, but it's amazing. I've never seen so many people hanging out waiting for a train. That is awesome. And they're all going, where? Where are they going? Can we actually check this? I'm not sure that it will let us do that, but you can see we've got trains coming in from outside the region. That's so cool, I love that. All right, we're gonna hope that holds up. Good, loving it. How's this tram line doing so far? We've got a full tram there. We've got almost full here. Wow, 793 passengers waiting. Are they waiting for trains? Not so much. Are they waiting for the trams? Let's scooch in here, see if we can get a little bit closer. Where are we? Yeah, okay, yeah, trams. gangbusters. They're loving this new line here. So look at all the people coming out of here. Where are they going? I'm wondering. They are walking mainly to, I don't know where. I guess maybe they're going over to the stadium. And let's check our policies here. Yeah, we have everything on. These are global policies that apply to every stadium in the city, I believe. So we're gonna keep them all on, which is great. Where were we and what were we doing? We were finishing up this park over here. Because I've left another 2 squares on this side, I can get another gate. Let's do the side gate again. I guess maybe that won't connect. Can I do anything about that? Okay, so that makes me sad. I think what we're gonna do then is, in fact, move this road off even more. And can I, yeah, this is gonna be, I shouldn't have done that. No problem, we will just do exactly what we did before. That should do it for us now, and we should be able to get in a couple more side gates. Now if I come with my path, it should let me connect to the node that is part of the park. Yes, we've done it. Why am I doing this? The reason is because I want people to pay money when they're moving through from this station, let's say, or the subway to this place over here. And we're actually gonna move in here one more asset for transportation, which, yeah, let's do it now. So we're putting in an intercity bus station. This is actually the first one that we have in the city. And given that this is relatively close to a highway interchange, 2 of them actually, it seems like a logical place to me. It's kind of midtown, and it's not taking up valuable real estate downtown. So I think we'll get in a couple more park gates here, and we will call it a day. Now I'm turning road guidelines on, so when I go over the park here, I can see all of the nodes, and I'm just going to connect some of these side paths up. One of the wonderful things is that you can do that with this large park. And now we've got some major connectivity. Do I want to gate on this side? I'm not sure that I do. There's not really anything. Well, let's see. Might as well. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a little bit too close to the edge here. I suppose I could have bumped that park over one. Do I want to do that? Do I want to rebuild the whole thing? You know what? We're not gonna mess with it because this seems to be perfectly aligned with the entrance of that station there. Oh boy, I'm really second guessing that now. No, we're fine. We're just gonna leave it alone, and we'll put a regular path through here. But I don't want to take up too much of the zoning, so hopefully, yeah, that should be fine. Okay. We're good. Now we have a couple gates, and hopefully just the function of people traversing through here should make us just a tiny bit of money. I like it. I like it a lot. What's next? Okay, so we're just building out the road network a little bit more. I'm going to continue to do that until I'm happy with what it looks like. So I've just adjusted some of the zoning so that we get most of this commercial that I'm putting in here on the side of the inside rather than the collectors. And what we need to do now is draw a new zone. This is going to be our leisure zone. And now we're going to come into the commercial specializations. We're going to look for the leisure, and we're going to give it this designation. We're going to start zoning and hopefully keep an eye on where our zoning actually is. It should be on the inside. I do want to fill up this interior park section, but I only want to go 2 tiles deep. I want small buildings to zone in here. And I want it to look like bars. I want it to look like nightclubs. I want it to look like a busy little happening place. And you can see it's already becoming a busy happening place, which is great. Did we fix our, no, this is still full. So, you know, at the end of the episode, we'll come and we'll rejig some of these lines, but you can see we've got some serious action on this streetcar line, which is cool. I like it a lot, but it's gonna need to be kept, we need to keep an eye on that. I think we're also gonna make this a little bit of a pedestrian zone. So I've put in the large pedestrian area service point. It looks fairly good overlooking an industrial area. It is a kind of industrial building, and so we're gonna convert some of these roads to be walking only roads, just to give us a little bit of a, you know, that feel that this is in fact a pedestrian area. And I think that's as far as we'll go, but what we do need to do now is extend this this pedestrian zone. Aha, and so there is a challenge to having overlapping park and pedestrian zones, and that is that these gates, these park side gates, any park gates really, cannot go onto a pedestrian road. Crazy, I know, but that is the way it is. So I'm wondering if I can rejig this gate a little bit, just temporarily get it out of here, and see if I can get it onto one of the side road here. You can see there's no zoning at this point, but if I'm smart, I can come and grab a fence, and just, it doesn't matter what fence because we're gonna delete it, but turn off everything and come in here. I don't want that zoning there. I want the zoning to front onto here now. And you can see we've got it back. So I can pull this Parkside gate onto this north-south road. I can actually delete that fence again, and we can reconnect our pathway, and we'll have everything exactly the way we want it now. There should be no screaming from the zones about not being in the zone. We do have to fix some of this. Oops, what are we doing? We're painting a new district. Don't want to do that. We just want to connect this up, and we don't want to cover up the park gates. That would be bad. We actually don't want to go quite that far, but this should do it. And we'll just fine tune this until this park gate is covered. We also don't want to lose the, okay, so yeah, these are one of the hazards of doing this work. We'll just beef it up just a little bit. I think we should be happy now. We can run it. Let's clean this area up a little bit. I do want to see if I can squeeze a bank in here, but that's going to require putting a little bit of zoning back on that side. I'm a little bit hesitant to do that, but let's see how it goes. That's all fine. We'll just put it on the other side of the street for now. I'm not sure it will stay there. We've broken something here, so we'll have to fix that. So I do very much appreciate the zoning toggle that we got in the latest update, but boy, does it take a little bit of finessing sometimes to get things exactly where you want it. I find it's a little bit backwards sometimes. You'll do one section of road, it'll be zoning on one side. You won't touch anything, you'll go to the next section, it'll be zoning on the other side. So who knows, figure that one out. All right, so let's take stock of what we've done. We obviously haven't done everything that we want to do in this area. There's still 2 big plots of land where we're going to put another residential neighborhood here and up here. That's for another episode. But we did a lot this episode, and I've hopefully sped this up enough that you're not watching me do a lot of little detail stuff. But how do we do with the traffic? You know, it's still significant in the area over here. So we're gonna have to keep looking at this and maybe play with some junctions, but you know, I think it's probably a major improvement. There is one other roadway I want to put through, and that's this one, and I want to connect over here. I think that's probably going to help a little bit to get traffic out of this cluster over here, and so let's do that right now. Okay, so we've got another underpass basically connecting to the area of Auxjack farmland and really to this place over here. We're not going to leave this as is. We're going to call it something different. So we're calling this leisure area Stromsund, and let's see, what can we call the parkland? We'll call it Harstad, and the pedestrian area, It can also be Harstad Avenue. Great, so I'm thinking this road's gonna be a pretty major artery as well. It should clear up some of the traffic in this area. I'm gonna let this run. I do think that we're going in the right direction. I might just play with the junctions for a second and see if we can get a little bit more traffic flow in here. So we'll see if some of those changes help, and we'll continue to keep an eye on that traffic. Now let's take stock of what we've done. How's our traffic in this area? It's being utilized. People are definitely using this area, which is great. I love to see that. Let's check our stations and our lines. We have 975. Wow, this is just incredible. So let's take a look at our train line to start. So we do have some of these trains at 680 capacity full. Two of them, in fact. This is blowing my mind. I can't believe it. So, you know, when there's another station over here, which is happens to be the one that we put in, that is also waiting for pickups. In fact, this train should pick them up. But I think we're gonna add just 2 more trains just to be safe with capacity on this line. That's wonderful. We're gonna look at our new tram lines. We're gonna see, is it the busiest one now? It is by far the busiest, by a factor of more than 2, the busiest line. How are we doing? We have 364 people waiting at our new station. That's just boggling my mind, I'm not kidding. And you know, it seems to be, I'm curious, let's troubleshoot this. Where are they going? So this car is moving down to in front of the stadium here. And I'm not seeing a whole ton of people waiting here, 22. But it does look like they're being passed up. So it looks like, and there's another car here in Central Park. It is passing up people as well, it appears. I think that's this, no, that's not this one. Okay, so they're dropping off here, but they're really moving slow, aren't they? And there's another one that's pretty busy. Let's see. Yeah, it basically goes to half capacity down to here. So a lot of people trying to get from the stadium district over to here. How's the subway line doing? And before we do anything with that, let's go in here and we're gonna add cars. Oh, it looks actually like it's cleared all of a sudden. That was miraculous. We do still have some waiting here. So 500. Okay, that's blowing my mind. We're gonna take this. Then we're gonna add 3 cars up to 15. Well, let's go 16 because why not? And we'll go back to our subways. And we'll look at first of all, our east-west line, which is doing very well. It's very well used. Okay, no stopping there, no pass-ups. I'm curious, which station are we looking at here? That's Torrance Square, then we get into, what is this? This is, University. We're going the wrong direction, so I'm gonna back it up here. Let's start at the end. That's our farmland. This was the new cross station we put in. Not a whole ton of people waiting at all, but I think it's a valuable station. Only 11 waiting here and plenty of capacity. I'm not worried about this one at all. Let's look at the yellow line, the Tropicana Express, which I'm not sure that name is fitting anymore. We know Tropicana is always busy, but at least it's picking up passengers. Nobody's getting left behind. Nobody really waiting on this line. I'm curious how many. Okay, this is our Central Park station. Yeah, there were 40 people waiting there. That's downtown. And back up to our new stadium station, 20 people. It's not very well used, and we know why. It's because there's no actual zoning in this area. It's pretty empty. However, this stadium will draw large crowds when it does have a game. Canceled. I'm curious why that would be. That's fairly odd. Who knows the inside of this game? There's our new streetcar coming in to bring some support. Look at this. We've got people using stations. We've got people walking all over the place, and we have a wonderful bit of capacity. And in fact, we'll get to bus lines in another episode. What else do we want to do here? Well, you know what? I think we've done more than enough for today. I think we've created at least the bones of a massive new district. This is we've called it Stromsund. I don't know what that means, but it's not complete. This will reshape itself as we add new zoning on either side. It looks like we have, what is this, a intercity bus? I'm just curious. I always love seeing these. 96 passengers leaving the city. So it looks like the intercity bus station is actually being used. Where are we? Over here. Oh, look at that. Look, we've got people waiting at 4 different platforms, 5 actually, leaving the city. It doesn't tell you to where exactly, but that's pretty cool that we are giving people one more way to get in and out of the city. We see the buses coming in here and dropping 96 new tourists and picking up only 2. So we've got a net influx of tourists, lots of people walking around. We've got some work to do with, detailing trees on the sides of the roads, cleaning up some of this old stuff, potentially looking at this area a little bit more. But I'm excited. I have a plan for where this is going. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I don't think it's going to be sitting long on my brain because I want to get to it. So I'll be editing this episode as soon as possible, and you'll see how it develops. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, and it's great if you could also subscribe so that you know when new episodes come out, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when that happens. It definitely helps the reach of the channel. I'm not doing it for the reach, the likes, etc. I'm just having fun with it, and this fills me up. So I'm going to continue pumping out as many episodes as I can before City Skylines 2 comes out, which I believe is October 25th. We've got time, folks. Let's do this. Let's see how big we can get Mikelsfjord to become, and yeah, let's continue to flesh out this downtown. And here's what we're working with. We've actually connected a lot of the disparate communities in at least the center of the map. There's still a lot of work I want to do in the hinterlands. Just to zoom out here for a second. I mean, I want to build communities all the way up these rivers here. There's all kinds of opportunities. There's a massive opportunity over here with this becoming some kind of tourism, shipbuilding, fishing area. There's a few beaches. We're gonna do some hotels. I've been saving that for a special episode. We've got this stub of train and road. We've even got passenger line stub here. So there's lots of room to grow. There's an infinite number of episodes we could create. I'm just having fun with it. So, and we'll redo our airport at some point. I love it. So thanks for watching. I'm so happy that you're joining me on this adventure, and I'll leave you with a quick city tour. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.